All right, buckle up, Buttercup, because we're diving headfirst into the gloriously perplexing world of the 99-year HDB lease. Yes, that magical number that sends shivers down the spines of aspiring homeowners and seasoned property moguls alike. Forget haunted houses. The true horror story is trying to decipher the intricacies of this leasehold labyrinth. Now, let's be honest, the whole concept is a bit like ordering a supersized meal. It seems like a fantastic deal at first, but halfway through, you're wondering if you'll ever finish it, and if you'll still be around to see the bottom of the plate. And just like that supersized meal, the 99-year lease is a commitment, a long, drawn-out affair, stretching into the distant, slightly terrifying future. You're essentially renting a slice of Singaporean sky for a very, very long time, but with the added bonus of getting to paint the walls and argue with your neighbors about the proper way to dry laundry on the balcony. Now, the thing about this 99-year lease is that it's a bit like a ticking time bomb, albeit a very slow-ticking one. Every year, that lease dwindles, like a sandcastle slowly succumbing to the relentless tide of time. And as the lease gets shorter, the resale value of your flat starts to do a little jig, a downward spiral that would make a roller coaster enthusiast weep. This is where the speculators come in, those delightful individuals who treat the housing market like a high-stakes casino, betting on future trends and trying to squeeze every last dollar out of their property. They'll tell you, with a twinkle in their eye and a spreadsheet in their hand, that your flat is a gold mine, a surefire investment, a guaranteed retirement plan. But let's be real, folks. Unless you've got a crystal ball and a direct line to the future, you're essentially playing a game of real estate roulette. And the thing about speculating on resale HDB flats with a dwindling lease is that it's a bit like trying to sell a vintage car with a rapidly expiring road tax. You might find a buyer who's enamored with the retro charm, but they're probably going to haggle you down to the price of a rusty bicycle. You see, the market is a fickle beast, swayed by the winds of government policy, interest rates, and the collective mood of the nation. One minute, your flat is the hottest property in town. The next, it's about as desirable as a used flip phone. And let's not forget the elephant in the room, the inevitable lease expiry. Yes, that day will come when your beloved flat, the place where you raised your kids, argued with your spouse, and perfected your char kway teow recipe, will revert back to the government. Poof! Gone. Like a digital photo disappearing from your phone after a software update. So why do people speculate? Well, human beings have a remarkable capacity for optimism, particularly when it comes to money. We tend to believe that we're smarter than the average bear, that we can outsmart the market, that we can somehow defy the laws of depreciation. We convince ourselves that this time it's different, that the government will magically extend the lease, or that some wealthy eccentric will come along and pay a fortune for our slightly dilapidated flat. We ignore the warnings, the statistics, the cold, hard reality of lease decay, and instead, we cling to our dreams of early retirement and beachfront villas. But here's the kicker. The HDB isn't a stock market. It's not a casino. It's a housing solution, a way to provide affordable homes for the masses. It's a social good, not a get-rich-quick scheme. And treating it like a speculative asset is like using a hammer to paint a masterpiece. It's just not the right tool for the job. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you shouldn't buy a resale HDB flat. It can be a perfectly sensible decision, a way to secure a place to call your own without breaking the bank. But you need to go in with your eyes wide open, with a realistic understanding of the leasehold system. Don't listen to the speculators, those smooth-talking charmers who promise you the moon and the stars. Do your own research, crunch the numbers, and accept that your flat is not a guaranteed investment. It's a home, a place to live, a shelter from the storms of life. And if you're lucky, it might even appreciate in value a little bit. But don't bet your retirement on it. That's like betting your life savings on a horse with 3 legs and a blindfold. Instead, focus on the things that truly matter: the location, the size, the condition of the flat, and most importantly, the price. Can you afford it? Can you comfortably service the mortgage? Will it provide a decent living space for you and your family? These are the questions you should be asking, not, how much will it be worth in 20 years? Because let's face it, nobody knows the answer to that question. Not even the speculators with their fancy spreadsheets and their confident pronouncements. The future is a mystery, a swirling vortex of uncertainty, and trying to predict the housing market is like trying to predict the weather. You might get it right occasionally, but more often than not, you'll end up getting soaked. So, the next time you hear someone talking about the investment potential of a resale HDB flat, take it with a grain of salt. A big salty grain of salt. Remember, it's a home, not a lottery ticket. And if you treat it as such, you'll be much happier in the long run. You'll avoid the stress, the anxiety, the sleepless nights spent worrying about market fluctuations. You'll simply enjoy your flat for what it is. A place to call your own. A sanctuary from the chaos of the world. And who knows, maybe you'll even get lucky and make a little bit of money when you eventually sell it. But don't count on it. Just enjoy the ride and try not to spill any kopi on the carpet.